Hey there, all you hungry investors. Welcome back to the channel, or just welcome if it's your first time here. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the exciting world of commercial real estate. This is a beginner's guide to commercial real estate asset classes. Stick around and find out more.
You got to be hungry.
Commercial real estate isn't just about the buildings themselves. It's about the stories that unfold within them. It's the bustling energy of a startup filling a co-working space, the happy chatter of families enjoying a staycation at a hotel, or the satisfied smiles of shoppers making the perfect purchase at the local shopping center. Picture this. The commercial real estate market is a giant buffet spread. We're going to use a food analogy because, well, we have an appetite for investing, right? We've got an incredible variety of options. Everything from office spaces where businesses thrive in metropolitan city settings to trendy retail stores brimming with the latest styles. But before you grab a plate and start piling on everything in sight, it's important to understand what each dish is all about. That's where asset classes come in. They're basically categories of commercial property, each with its own unique characteristics and target markets. Let's take a closer look at some of the 5 main asset classes. These sleek, modern buildings are where businesses of all sizes work their magic. Office buildings can be categorized in a few different ways, depending on the criteria used. Here are some common classifications. By class, categorized from A to C. The higher the class rating, the higher the demand. Because Class A office properties are the top tier office buildings, typically newer construction in prime locations with high-end finishes. Amenities like fitness centers and on-site restaurants. Advanced technology infrastructure. By occupancy, single-tenant buildings occupied by a single company that lease the entire space. Or multi-tenant buildings divided into multiple suites that are leased to different companies. Multi-tenant is the most common type of office building. By size, low-rise buildings are typically 1 to 4 stories tall and offer a more intimate and collaborative work environment. Mid-rise buildings are 5 to 12 stories tall and provide a balance of accessibility and expansive views. And high-rise buildings are over 12 stories tall and offer stunning views and a prestigious location. By industry focus, creative office buildings cater to creative industries like advertising, design, and technology. They may even have open floor plans, exposed brick walls, and other unique features. Medical office buildings designed for medical practices may have features like exam rooms, waiting areas, and laboratory. Government office buildings, which house government agencies, may have specific security requirements. It's important to note that these categories can overlap. For example, a Class A office building could be a single-tenant high-rise or a multi-tenant mid-rise. The specific classification will depend on the unique characteristics of the building. Office assets have also seen the most significant struggles since the COVID-19 pandemic and the trend towards the work-from-home workforce. Retail properties can be categorized in several ways, depending on the size, location, and tenant type. Here's a breakdown of some common classifications. By size and occupancy. Freestanding retail or single-tenant buildings typically occupied by one large national retailer, restaurant, or bank. They can range in size from 2,000 over 100,000 square feet and are often located along major roads with ample parking. Strip malls are small shopping centers with multiple attached stores, usually 4 to 10 tenants, typically facing a common parking lot. They can vary in size but are generally less than 30,000 square feet and cater to local convenience needs. Tenants might include a coffee shop, dry cleaner, nail salon, or small specialty stores. Neighborhood centers are larger shopping centers, typically 30,000 to 100,000 square feet, anchored by a grocery store or drugstore. They offer a wider variety of shops and services compared to strip malls, catering to a broader range of customer needs. Think of stores like supermarkets, clothing chains, and restaurants. Community centers are even larger shopping centers, exceeding 100,000 square feet, with multiple anchor stores like department stores or big box retailers. They offer a diverse mix of stores, restaurants, and services, becoming a one-stop destination for a wider range of shopping needs. Power centers are shopping centers dominated by big box retailers like electronics stores, home improvement stores, and discount stores. They're typically located in suburban areas with tons of parking, and they focus on offering lower prices and bulk goods. By location and specialty, regional malls are very large enclosed shopping malls exceeding 400,000 square feet with multiple department stores as anchors. They offer a complete shopping experience with a focus on entertainment and leisure alongside retail. Outlet centers are collections of stores offering discounted merchandise, often from overstocked or last season items from popular brands. These are typically located outside major cities along highly trafficked freeways and interstates. They attract bargain hunters from a large trade area. Lifestyle centers are open-air shopping centers that focus on creating a pleasant and upscale shopping experience. They often feature upscale stores and restaurants and entertainment options like movie theaters or niche-specific entertainment venues such as golf, music, and sports. Some other things to consider in retail: convenience stores. These are small retail outlets, typically open long hours, that offer a limited selection of everyday essentials like groceries, snacks, and beverages, or gas stations with convenience stores. Same as above, but these combine a gas station with a convenience store, offering fuel and basic necessities to travelers and local customers. Warehouses, distribution centers, light manufacturing facilities. These are the unsung heroes of the modern world. They keep everything moving smoothly behind the scenes, forming the backbone of e-commerce and supply chains. Industrial properties encompass a wide range of facilities that house various activities related to manufacturing, storage, and distribution. Here's a breakdown of some common types. Primary function. First, heavy manufacturing. These massive facilities are built to handle large-scale production of heavy goods and materials. They require specialized equipment, high ceilings, and heavy-duty flooring to accommodate industrial machinery and the processes that come along. Examples include steel mills, car factories, and large chemical plants. Number two, light manufacturing. These are smaller and less resource-intensive facilities compared to heavy manufacturing. They focus on assembling products, processing smaller materials, or warehousing finished goods for light industries. Some examples might include electronics assembly plants, furniture manufacturing, and food processing. Third, warehouses. These are primarily storage facilities for goods and materials. They can vary in size and sophistication, ranging from basic storage units to temperature-controlled warehouses with advanced inventory management systems. Fourth, distribution centers. These facilities serve as hubs for receiving and storing and distributing goods. They often have efficient loading dock areas, large open floor plans, and they may incorporate light assembly or packaging functions alongside the distribution. Specific use. Cold storage warehouses are specifically designed to maintain low temperatures for storing perishable goods like food, pharmaceuticals, or flowers. Flex space warehouses are versatile properties that can be adapted for various uses. They combine elements of office, warehouse, and light manufacturing space. They cater to businesses needing a space that can adapt to their changing needs, or those requiring a blend of functions like a showroom, a production facility, and a storage facility. Data centers are highly secure and climate-controlled facilities. These properties house computer servers and telecommunications equipment for businesses and organizations. They require robust power supplies, cooling systems, and advanced security measures to ensure smooth operation and data protection. Here's a couple things to consider with industrial. Industrial parks. These are designed areas with multiple industrial properties and a shared infrastructure, such as roads, utilities, and security services. This can be a cost-effective option for businesses seeking an established industrial environment. Logistics centers. These specialized facilities cater to the needs of the e-commerce industry. They are strategically located near major transportation hubs and are equipped for efficient order fulfillment fulfillment, and fast delivery of goods directly to consumers. Multifamily properties, also known as residential income properties. These offer housing for renters, and they come in a variety of styles and sizes. Apartments, townhomes, condos. Cater to a diverse mix of needs, from young professionals just starting out to families seeking a comfortable place to raise their kids. Apartment buildings are the most common type of multifamily property, typically consisting of multiple stories with individual dwelling units accessed through common hallways or stairwells. They can range in size from small garden apartments with a few units to high-rise towers with hundreds of apartments. Here's a breakdown of some common types by unit size, amenity, location, and density. Luxury apartments are high-end apartment buildings that offer upscale amenities like fitness centers, swimming pools, concierge services, and rooftop terraces. Units feature premium finishes, spacious layouts, and may include features like balconies or smart home technology. Garden apartments are low-rise buildings, typically 2 to 3 stories, often set in a landscape environment with common green space. They offer a more relaxed atmosphere compared to high-rise buildings. They may appeal to families or those seeking a more suburban feel. Here's a couple things to consider with multifamily. Mixed-use developments. These combine residential units with commercial space on the ground floor. They offer residents convenient access to shops, restaurants, or office spaces within the same building. Student housing. These purpose-built properties cater specifically to students, often located near universities or colleges. They may offer amenities like study lounges, on-site laundry facilities, and social events. Similar to office properties, multifamily is typically categorized by class, A, B, or C, which distinguishes its age, location, and amenities. The higher the class, the higher the rent, and the higher the property value. Hotels, resorts, B&Bs. These cater to travelers of all type, offering everything from budget-friendly options for backpackers to luxurious getaways for those seeking the ultimate relaxation. The hospitality industry offers a wide range of accommodation options to cater to diverse traveler needs and budgets. Here's a breakdown of some common types. Hotels are the most familiar type of hospitality property. They offer a variety of room types, guest services, and amenities. They can be further categorized based on their service level. Luxury hotels are high-end establishments that provide exceptional service, luxury amenities like spas, gourmet restaurants, and concierge services. Full-service hotels offer a wide range of amenities and services, including on-site restaurants, bars, room service, fitness centers, and business centers. They cater to a broader range of travelers seeking comfort and convenience. Select service hotel properties often focus on specific amenities or services, limited on-site dining options but convenient locations and comfortable accommodations. Limited service hotels are budget-friendly, offering basic amenities like clean rooms, Wi-Fi access, continental breakfast. Boutique hotels are stylish, unique properties that cater to a specific aesthetic. They offer a more intimate and personalized experience compared to large chain hotels. They attract design-conscious travelers seeking a one-of-a-kind stay. And then you have extended stay hotels. These cater to guests staying for long durations. They include in-room kitchens, laundry facilities, pet-friendly policies. They're ideal for business travelers, relocating families, or those needing a temporary home base. So now you got a good idea of the main courses on the commercial real estate buffet. But remember, just like any good meal, each asset class has its own flavor profile. So some offer the potential for higher returns, but they also involve more risk, while others provide steadier income, but they might have lower growth potential. For example, office. High-demand office buildings in prime locations can offer impressive returns, but economic downturns and changing workplace trends can lead to vacancies and decreased rental income. Retail. Successful retail spaces in busy areas can be cash cows, but competition from online shopping and changing consumer preferences can pose a challenge to the property in the mid to long-term range of your investment. Industrial. Warehouses, distribution centers, they're all in high demand due to the rise of e-commerce. They offer a relatively stable income stream with good potential for growth. But with tenants leasing large spaces specific to their needs, one vacancy can dramatically impact your income and be costly to release. Multifamily. Well-managed apartment buildings with consistent occupancy rates offer reliable income income, but regulations and maintenance costs can impact profitability. Hospitality. Hotels in popular tourist destinations can be lucrative, but their success hinges on seasonal fluctuations and economic conditions. Understanding your risk tolerance and investment goals is key to choosing the right asset class for you. There are tons of resources available to help you make informed decisions, like Hungry Investments. Check out the link in the description below for our comprehensive guide on choosing the perfect asset class for you. Staying on top of these trends can give you a significant edge in the market. Whether you're an investor looking for the next big opportunity or a business owner searching for the perfect space to house your business, there are several ways to stay informed. Industry publications. Subscribe to industry publications and newsletters to keep yourself updated on the latest news and trends. For example, make sure you're following Hungry Investments on your favorite social media platform for current updates and market information. Market research reports. Invest in market research reports that provide in-depth analysis of specific markets and asset classes. Networking events. Attend industry conferences and networking events to connect with other professionals and learn from their experience. If you need help figuring out which ones are worth your time, drop a comment below and we'll do our best to help point you in the right direction. Are you feeling a little more confident about navigating the world of commercial real estate? Remember, knowledge is power in this game, and having the right team by your side can make all the difference. Now that you're equipped with the knowledge to navigate the different commercial real estate asset types with confidence, all that's left is to figure out which one or ones best fit your investment goals and strategy. By understanding this deeper, you'll be well on your way to making informed commercial real estate investment decisions. Interested in learning more about commercial real estate investment asset types? Can download our free commercial real estate investment asset guide. Click the link in the description below to learn more in our full blog post, Unveiling the Riches of Commercial Real Estate, a beginner's guide to asset classes. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on the different commercial investment asset types. Does one jump out to you more than others? We would love to hear from you in the comments section below. Thanks for joining me and watching this video today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more commercial real estate insights and information. See you next time. Stay hungry, my friends.